Hey, welcome back to Railroads Online and the Ramblin' Railroad. This is episode number 2, and today, if you can't tell, we got a major update. Winter has arrived to the Ramblin' Railroad. We got a giant Christmas special build, and the devs have done some awesome updates, and we're going to take a look at these and explore them. But first, if you can't tell, we got the in-game music playing. That's right, I got special permission from the developers to actually play the music on my YouTube channel here. So I reached out to them on Discord, and they said it's absolutely fine. So I'm going to play the music here. I actually like the music. It's, I think, very well done. And the composer actually has a YouTube channel of his own, which I will link in the description below. Alright, so let's get into the changelog here because we got a lot to cover in this episode. We're not going to do a whole lot of railroading. As a matter of fact, when this update hit, I was way over at the iron ore mine building the track, the groundwork, back here to the smelter when my microphone suddenly died. And by died, I mean it died. And right now I'm using a different microphone while I'm waiting for a new desktop microphone to show up. So if the audio quality is not that great, I do apologize, and I promise that it will get better in the future. Alright, so let's get into this changelog. So the first thing we got here is the increased spawn time for oil barrels to 3 seconds. That doesn't really affect us yet. We're not doing anything with oil barrels. They added cobblestone texture at the smelter on the cordwood unloading platform, and what they're talking about is this right here. They added a ground texture here. Now the reason why I think they did that is because I have seen some videos of people putting track along this side here in an effort to make loading and unloading easier, but they were actually running into issues, obviously running into cordwood as it was unloading. So by putting down the cobblestone, I think they made that message clear. This is for supplies. Alright, next up. As they fixed the frozen crane animation for the client, they set the Heisler mass to a much heavier weight. They increased the top speed of the Heisler to 7 meters per second. They set the climax mass to a much more heavier weight for increased traction, I believe is why they're doing that. And they increased the top speed to 5 meters per second. They also changed the Eureka brake lever rotation. They adjusted the climax cylinder animation speed and sound. Corrected the Porter 040 physics, so that's that first Porter in-game, which we'll be talking about in this video as well. They fixed the physics update rate. They disabled location smoothing for client cars. Increased freight card unloader interaction distance to 300 centimeters. And adjusted the replication distance. They added a fine adjustment for the brakes, and I can kind of show you what that is. So they made this more of a fine adjust, is what I believe that covers. Or is it this one? I don't really tell a difference. So see what else we got going on here. I'm just looking over my list. And they added a wake-up call routine for frozen client cars. So apparently cars that would get stuck are no longer stuck. They added reset coupler function. When a car derails, the broken coupler is reset to empty on server and client. When the re-rail tool is used on car, both couplers are reset to empty on server and client. What they're talking about here is these couplers right here. Before, when a car would derail or something like that, the couplers would get all screwed up. Now they set them to be gone, especially after you re-rail. So you just basically have to reset the link. This is actually a good thing because oftentimes the couplers would get misaligned and you would have a harder time hooking and unhooking, or you have a harder time hooking up to your rail cars here. They changed the fuel game mechanic. You only fuel the boiler by using the firebox element. This is actually a really good one. Before, people would just take wood and they would just throw it just like that, and that would fuel the boiler. But now that didn't do anything, so you actually have to throw it into the box by opening the door and throwing it into the firebox. Awesome realism. I actually really like that one a lot. It prevents people from being lazy. So, alright, what else we got? We added the zero randomization when finishing grade or wall splines, plus or minus 2 centimeters for all points between the first and the last point. This removed the Z fighting level groundwork. So what they're talking about, I believe, is the glitching, which you kind of see right here. I'm guessing it's for the new groundwork, because that is still glitchy. So probably new. We'll test that out in a future episode, probably in the next episode. Let's see what else. They added a white lantern color option. They added engine sheds. We'll cover that in a little bit. They added a bobber caboose. We'll talk about that in a little bit as well. And they added snow to the trees, the landscape, the rails, the switches, fills, walls, and particles. So basically, they made it winter. And it is awesome. So we just got this guy fueled up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually decouple him. Oh, come on. And I'm going to drive this guy back to the freight depot to show you a couple of more of these updates. That's set correctly. Forward. Brake off. Oh, the fuel box. If you look after it's open, in the upper left hand corner, you see it's 55% and the temperature of the fire. And then we can use the right mouse button to add fuel. So let me grab a couple sticks. There we go, 100%. So that's really neat. So when you're driving in first person here, you don't need to go into the F menu, enter the vehicle, just to see how much fuel you have. So the other thing is each stick of wood is 10 on the fuel, and I always put more than it's needed, just because it's fun to do. So I'm actually just going to use this view while I'm here. We've got the brake off, the reverser going forward. Let's get out of here. Alright, well, I'm going to head back up to the freight depot, and we will see you in just a few minutes. Alright, welcome back. We're coming in here to the freight depot. And I want to show a couple more of these updates. I gotta speed up just a little bit. I want to get up around to the shunt yard just a little bit without wasting too much time here. I was using the lean feature. Leaning out the side. Let's zoom out just a little bit. That's probably good enough. Brake. Alright. So the first thing I would like to show off and kind of talk about what we're going to do in the future here is off this spur for this shunt yard. I was always thinking about having some locomotive storage out here. It's kind of like a big empty wasted space, right? I could put another shunt yard over here, expand this one out a little bit. Expand this one out, then it's going to just be short, right? So I was thinking like a turntable and just rail to store locomotives on. Well, the devs added this. It's the engine shed. We got the Alpine blue one. We'll go ahead and plop him down. Right now they don't cost anything. And let's see, we got Aspen Gold. Plop him down. These aren't going to be permanent, obviously. There's a red one. G and Prince Mineral Brown. Okay. Alright. These are big. Let's go and check these out here. Let's open this up. So they can hold 2 locomotives side by side. It's snowing in here. So we'll have to do a switch. You know, put down a... Whoa. That's angry. Okay, there we go. Do something, you know, like this. This isn't obviously where it's going to go. And then... I'm just thinking out loud here as I don't say anything. Obviously this would be all cleaned up and dressed up and moved into the right spot. But I'm thinking something like that, and then have a turntable right here. And that would all come off of this spur, this last link in the shunt yard. And then I can put 2 locomotives side by side out here in the middle. Kind of my thinking. I do like this brown. Doesn't quite match the end game, but it's close. Maybe the red, or that one, or that one. I don't know. What color do you guys like? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll build it in a future episode, a very future episode, because I do want to get a new locomotive soon, because I don't think that one is going to have enough power to pull the size train that I want to the locations that I want coming up in the future. So let's go ahead and demolish all this for now. This is so cool. I really like these sheds. Gives a nice good place out of the weather to park our locomotives when we're not using them. And we'll start off with 1. You know, I could park 2 locomotives in there. We'll be out driving around the 3rd. So we probably won't go much more beyond just 1 shed. But if we do, we can do different colors and that sort of thing. But let me know which color we want to do first. Alright, let's get these demolished out of here. Alright. Now the next thing that they added that I really, really like is the... Oh, there it is. The caboose. So let's see. I want to buy one right now. So, Ramblin' Railroad. Oh, that's number. What number? That's the first caboose, but we already have an engine number 1. So what if we did C1? Caboose C1. Caboose 1. Oh, that's kind of cool. And then we'll do Ramblin' Railroad. Oh, that's super cool up there. What if we do Ramblin' Railroad? There we go. It's only $500. Pretty inexpensive. We got plenty of money. Let's go ahead and order that guy. Let's go check it out. So cabooses were actually a large part of trains during this time period. It's where the crew slept. It's where the brakeman would look out over the train. Obviously it went on the end of the train. It's where they prepped their meals. It's where they slept for the night. It's where they got warm. Let's go in here and have a look. There's a little potbelly stove. Oh, come on. Apparently it doesn't want to close. There it goes. To drag up to close. Got a little stove in here. Now I heard... Yep, it smokes. That's awesome. So yeah, here would be like bunk beds in here. Desk for the conductor to have his paperwork and that sort of thing. And this is the brakeman station. And they would just sit up here and have a brake wheel. This controls the caboose brakes. And they could oversee the entire train and listen for the whistles from the engineer to brake when they needed to and by how much and that sort of thing. Also have a door off the back here. Come on, get open. There we go. Got a brake on the back. You can hook up more cars behind you if you needed to, but this was typically the end of the train back here. I guess the train could be turned around, or the caboose could be turned around. And then you have another brake here. So this is all about crew quarters and crew comfort. And back then they were very small and very primitive. They had a little, kitchenette kind of a thing in here usually. But I think maybe those were on later trains. Some rail companies actually still employ cabooses, but they're more for the maintenance workers and that sort of thing. So that's really all that's new. Let's I want to try out this caboose, so let's get in the Ultra here. We're gonna hook up to one of these trains. That's probably a little fast. Of course I didn't have a link ready either. Golly. Alright. Forward. What was I thinking? Forward. That's enough. There we go. Not boiler pressure. I have to flip this switch, otherwise I'll forget and I'll derail. I derail a lot because I forget things like this. Apparently there will not be spring switches, even though those are a little bit historically accurate for this time period. But the devs are not planning on adding those to the game. However, there is chatter about potentially doing tunnels. So, yay, that'll be great. And a bunch of other updates and stuff that are planned. We just don't know when. That's alright, though. It is a work in progress. And I can certainly respect that. We should have backed up, actually. I don't have to mess with switches so much. Ah, that's okay. We gotta go this way anyway. We need to back into here and hook up to the caboose, and we'll be pointing the right direction this way. Otherwise, we'd have to hook up to them on the front of the locomotive, and the caboose does not go on to the front of the locomotive. And I set the train to start backing up. I gotta run down here and flip this switch. I can wait for it. While we're waiting for it, let me talk about a comment that I got today on that first video about why it is I don't like this first locomotive that we get. Is this guy, the Betsy. And that is because I don't like this guy because he is abused so much. She is abused so much. Oh wow. We're trucking. It's extremely overpowered to the point where it's just not even usable in my world. But this one is almost as powerful. It's not quite as powerful, but it's pretty close. And I'm trying to... I didn't realize that when I cheated it, right? And I'm trying to keep this game as realistic as possible, but by having, you know, your starting engine being more just as strong, if not, you know, stronger than anything else, doesn't really make it too makes it not realistic, and especially for a starting engine. So make sure I put a link in it. I didn't want to set full brake, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's why. I mean, this locomotive is still pretty strong, but I limit myself to 6 cars because I feel like that's about as much as it would have actually pulled in real life, especially on these mountain passes and whatnot. And you know, it's that Betsy. It just, I see other people using it, and they got like 24 car trains going up at 8% slope, you know, fully loaded, and it's just, it really put a bad taste in my mouth. That's really about the only real reason. I have slammed into the back of this dock and derailed this back car before, so I'm very cautious about how much I let it push. Just curious. Okay. If we turned off one set of brakes, does it turn off the others? So now I think we can set this to go forward. Just set a little bit of reg. Let's go 36%. Let's go back and get in the caboose and just watch the train. Come on. It does not like to close. I hear the sound effect, but it's not working. There we go. Come on. Oh. That's frustrating. This is weird. Let's get up here. Oh, this is cool. This is so cool. Look outside. The scenery is just awesome. I love winter. I love the snow. I love the cold. I love the dark. I love everything about winter. Christmas, New Year's. My birthday's in the winter. Winter's just awesome. Great time of year. Very pretty. Set the brake a little bit, see if it actually slows us down. I can't really tell. I didn't really hear it lug any more than it normally does. This is kind of scary though, because the controls are up there. So, yeah. Controls are up there. Well, anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for watching. I'm going to get back to work on the... I can just run right through that door. I didn't even realize you could do that. That's going to do it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to get back to work on the third episode now. Making a run. I should probably set a brake. Whoa. Golly. Alright. Trying to make a run from the iron ore mine to the smelter up at the top of your map there. And this update dropped, and I just had to, you know, stop what I was doing and show you guys all about this new update. I'm super excited for it. I can't wait to start building. You know, there's the one thing I haven't tried yet is the... Oh, it comes with the texture. It doesn't just, you know, start off with the gravel texture and then put my crosshair back. To get your crosshair back, just double tap G. The groundwork doesn't just come with the cobble, it comes pre-snowed. So that's cool. Alright, well, thank you very much for, you know, watching this episode of the Ramblin' Railroad here on RailRoads Online. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.